What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
That's right, guys. Kicking off another one here today. Again, it's a little more fast-forwarded since we have our bye week last week. So tonight we're going to talk about that Rams offense versus our Big D and see how they stack up against this defense, what we can do to slow them down. They have a pretty high-ranked offense, so maybe the work cut out for us. We'll see what happens here. Dan Quinn and Micah and company. We'll talk about that tonight and so much more. Again, appreciate everybody in here hitting that like, subscribe, notification bell. And baby, as we open it up, the man who took over everything. And you know why he's here. Snug X.
Woo! Thank you so much, Snug. Appreciate you, of course. Not just representing as the sponsor of the week, he's also repping it as the Cash App King 11 weeks in a row.
Much
Some
love.
Micah Parsons representation.
Domination. Jason Renfro got the other boards here. 56 points on the stream, boss. A little bit in that orange there. Almost to the halfway point. Jason Renfro still hanging on. And he's also currently in the gifting lead. I'm sorry, he's the gifting champion. What am I talking about? He's the gifting champion right now. Much love to Jason Renfro. One of the most important parts of our board. And if you look at the leaders this week, Skeptical Fan, 3 gifted memberships yesterday. He kicks it off. And, hey, he's in the raffle. We'll talk about that in a minute. And he's also in the lead on the overall board as well as the gifting board. So extra special love to Mr. Skeptical Fan staying skeptical. And also to Jason Renfro back on that side because this week, again, in the lead, Skeptical Fan all over the board, but also Jason Renfro in the Cash App side. He currently is trying to take that streak away from Snug X. Jason Renfro currently in the lead in the Cash App, and he dropped a $2.20 holler in the daytime today. He's just in the middle of the day, so much love to him. That adds on to his numbers, and hey, it also adds on to his chances to get more raffle entries. We'll discuss that in a minute. But much love to everybody in the house, supporting the boards in every single way. And baby, there's super chats, there's Cash App. Super chats, there's thanks button. You can drop love throughout the day that way. You can
Gifted memberships.
Yep, there's the memberships you can jump into on your own. But baby, what's the other ways they can challenge a guy like Snug X on the Cash App board as the top spot there in the Cash App? What are the other ways of helping out the channel on that side of things?
Of course, you have the Cash App, # My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right, guys. So appreciate everybody in the house. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, memberships. Again, Navy Blue, Silver Star, and over everything. But we always do the nightly shout-outs here. Fan Fridays, we make sure we give the shout-outs to the silver level as well. But every night, Top Shelf supporters get the Top Shelf shout-outs on the nightly. Star level and over everything level members. Much love to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the Top Dog, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, and De Lunatic. And De Lunatic, a very special name there. Why?
I think we know why.
Very special raffle coming on. 2 big lucky winners can have a chance to win a Sewn and Stitch jersey. You see it right here. The Lunatics double jersey raffle. 2 jerseys, 2 winners. And baby, the Sewn and Stitch jerseys, like the star level memberships, and over everything, monthly raffles. But this is a special one for this upcoming games coming up here, guys. And yes, you can pick different styles. You get the color rush, you get the navy, you get the white, the home white.
A variety
you get
of players,
throwbacks.
styles, and sizes available.
Styles, everything. So again, much great stuff there from Cowboys Mosh. But what is the Lunatic doing? Like, what do you have to get into this? How do you get into this raffle, and how do you get the most chance to win one of these 2 fantastic jerseys?
Of course, if you drop $10, bam, you are automatically entered to win one of these raffles. And guess what? The entries stack, so every additional $10, and it is cumulative, right? So additional bonus entries. And like you said, baby, membership has its perks. You get a bonus entry if you are an MCF member. Shout out to the family. Yes. And thanks again to the man, De Lunatic, making it happen here.
Yes, hell yes.
Can't wait to see who the lucky winners are going to be.
Hell yeah. And by the way, an example is like right now, Jason Renfro dropped the 220 in the Cash App. He had 10 yesterday. He's, he's less than 8 away. He's 780, I guess you can say, from getting another raffle entry. He's already in the membership, so he gets a bonus entry. So he's got 2, so does Skeptical Fan. And that's how you can keep building them throughout the week. So again, good luck to all. Much love to the Lunatic. And baby, let's also talk about who's in the house tonight, ready to talk some Cowboy football.
We have Frank Moyer, hello and hi. Cactus G, in the place to be, much love. Texas Twister, stay safe out there on the road. Asmodeus representing. Matt Persico, what's up? You see, we have Monroe Gadet in the house. Yeah, he said, I see the boys are leaving no stone unturned, but the problem is they're picking up pebbles. Trust me, we're all still kind of looking at them like, what are you going to do, Dallas, right? Mike Aldana, what's up? Much love. We have William Burney in the house. We better smoke the Rams. Bruce got the toxic juice. What's up? Daniel Berry Sports, hello and hi. Raymond Solis in the house. Pioneer, what's up? We have rolling back. C Bass representing. Of course, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Much love. El Fuego 2.0. Freedom First. I'm sorry, you were not first today. Wah wah. Let's see. Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas.
Hell yeah.
Spoony Dog, much love to you.
Spoony. And you know what, guys? The family, my Cowboys family, and the whole family, not just myself and the wife, but the kids, going to their first game with us this weekend against the Rams. So definitely want to be around for, again, if you're going to be at the game, you're going to be in Dallas, you might see us walking around. You definitely see us at the game, repping that star over everything, all four of us. So that's going to be a special weekend for us. And again, hopefully we get this win because we are, as a family, undefeated when we go to these games. So we got to keep that streak going. That's the most important streak right now. Well, I'm going to tell you a couple other streaks Cowboys are shooting for this weekend and for against this Rams team. So are we good here? Are they ready to get rolling right now?
No, we still have Karam Mawani, Dirty South,
all right.
Manuel Trillo, much love to you.
Hell yeah.
So now we can officially
now we're good.
Hand things off to you, my love.
So as we kick it off, as we always do, we always start with a little NFL news. So Travis Kelce, he's averaging 100 yards per game when guess who's in the house? Taylor Swift. And he is only getting 46.5 yards per game when she's not, at the stadium. So anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up, and even though, this is actually directly Cowboy related, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because, it's not really, I would say it's not Cowboy football, right? It's NFL kind of related. So guess who spoke yesterday? Of course, we talked about some of what he said, but he said some other stuff, and his name is Micah Parsons. Spoke on this. He said that, that stat of Kelce playing better when she's there and not as well when she's not there. Basically, he said this, quote, it's not because of Taylor Swift, but I'm going to tell you one thing. When there's a bad girl, she's in attendance, she's watching you. That gives you an extra boost of confidence. Kelce was already doing it. So now he's going I'm going to do it, but more now. You get the picture, right? You get the picture.
Obviously,
I get the boost. I get it.
I feel like probably most of you guys in the chat can maybe understand that a little better than me. But yes, I can understand the motivation to want to play harder for a pretty lady.
I know I do. So just throwing that out there. Again, we're not doing that whole. I see other people out there, other content creators talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Who gives a shit? But again, this situation, I got to bring it up because Micah had his 2 cents to say on that. Now, also, remember that suspension, 4-game suspension for Kareem Jackson from the Denver Broncos, who gave that dirty shot there, cheap shot, and they suspended him 4 games. He appealed, and today, hearing officer, former NFL player Derek Brooks, who was jointly, appointed by the NFL and the NFLPA, so both sides agreed to him. He reduced the discipline issued to Kareem Jackson.
Okay.
He went from 4 games to 2 games. So Kareem Jackson now eligible to return 2 weeks earlier on the Broncos roster on Tuesday, November 14th. So again, it's good to have a guy that's actually agreed upon by both sides because maybe you get a little bit more in the middle kind of youthful. Because again, I don't know if he deserves 4 games, but he definitely deserves something. So everyone was even like, what's going on? 4 games for that?
It did seem a little bit excessive considering things that players actually get suspended for 4 games for.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're seeing them, domestic stuff gets 2 games, you're like, what? What? This is a football play. It's a little dirty, but okay, he gets a suspension, but 4 games. So he got it down to 2 based on that. Now, other NFL news, some clarity on Deshaun Watson. Again, his Browns beat the Niners this past week or last weekend, and Deshaun Watson's injury said basically this: the doctors told him he has a strain of the subcapularis within the rotator cuff. And he continues to have both pain and weakness with the movement when he's throwing. So this kind of injury is usually in baseball. It happens in baseball, by the way. Congrats to the Arizona Diamondbacks, but they're going down to the Texas Rangers in the World Series. Anyways, this type of injuries usually causes pitchers to miss 4 to 6 weeks. And Watson continues to work to try to regain strength in his shoulder, the velocity of his throws, kind of throwing through passes and stuff like this.
So basically,
to shorten the rehab in that window. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's going to have trouble playing anytime soon. So keep that in mind when it comes to Deshaun Watson and his, again, it sucks. Injuries suck, but people saying he's better than Dak. I don't agree with that statement. Now, another guy today retired, Lions wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr. I mean, he's one of their starters. He's a top guy for them, and he's retiring tending to a personal family matter. So we're hoping the best for him. The Lions, he retired. The Lions then proceeded later in the day to release him from the team after he announced he was stepping away from the team to take care of personal family matters. So hope the best for Marvin Jones Jr. He might come back in the future, but right now he is retired. One last kind of, I guess you could say, injury note out there. A lot of people talked about trades. Let's trade for a tight end named Zach Ertz. I don't agree with that. But Zach Ertz today from the Cardinals was put on IR.
Oh, shit.
So you don't want to trade for Zach Ertz. I said that when some guys mentioned it in here. I'm like, don't want to trade for Zach Ertz. He's injury prone. He's older. He's far from what he used to be. He's a shell of what he used to be. So Cardinals put him on IR today. 3-time Pro Bowler, 27 catches this year for 187 yards and a touchdown. Suffered a quad strain on Sunday in the game. And the plan is for him to still return, though, later in the season. So that's the Zach Ertz situation. Out of the trade bait situation for our Cowboys.
Yeah, where we're starting to see more and more teams, accumulate those bumps and bruises types of injuries. So,
yeah.
We're definitely reaching that point in the NFL season already.
Agree. Yeah, and you got to track those things now. Now, look, you guys know, again, I have to speak on media because they bring it up. But I do want to say, when it comes to Dak Prescott, we know he gets slammed by the media more than most. Maybe more less deserving than most, but still gets it, right? On FS1, Speak on FS1, one of our most hated media personalities there, Joy Taylor. She don't know crap much about football. It's all about clickbait with her. And guess what she did today? So today she talked about Jalen Hurts' turnovers.
Okay.
All right. Leading the league right now, up there, second, I think, leading or second, but horrible, right? He's going to have more turnovers than Dak ever had in his career in a season if this trend continues for him. And here's what she said. She goes, quote, "I am giving Jalen a pass. But please stop doing it, Jalen," referring to the turnovers. So, here's the thing. She's not giving Jalen Hurts a pass. She's not. She's just mad because he's making her look bad. But she's not giving him a pass. You got to look a little closer here, guys. She spent all of this season so far talking about turnovers as a way to judge Dak Prescott. That's what Joy Taylor has done, not just this year, but last year and the year before that. Now, all of a sudden, she's pretending to give Jalen a pass. She's giving herself a pass, is what I think she's doing. That's what these media knuckleheads do too much of, and they get stuck in their own shit, and they got to kind of act it out here and kind of defend their guys. That's why I don't watch any of these 3-letter, 4-letter networks. They give you what they want you to get mad about. They want you to hear. They the clicks and the views, whatever. I mean, that's the entertainment part. We talk about the sports, the competitive part. That's what entertains me. So fuck you, Joy Taylor, and go defend your guy, Jalen Hurts, whatever. That's fine. Nothing against Jalen Hurts. I'm talking about her. These schmucks out there, they will give passes to everybody else. But Dak Prescott gets the screws turned on him even when he plays well.
In a weird way, I at least appreciate the refreshing quality of not even pretending to find an excuse. She just straight up said, like, "Oh, I'm just giving him a pass." Yeah. That's it. I'm clearly making an exception to my own arbitrary rules.
Because he's my guy.
It's like, what?
Yeah, that's what Jerry Jones thinking.
So, yeah, for sure. And honestly, like I said, it just goes to show that you can have two guys that are doing the exact same thing, but depending on the color of the jersey that guy's repping, well, we're going to have a very different conversation, aren't we? So, yeah, Cactus G said, it doesn't cost the Eagles anything when Jalen turns over the ball, but it costs us when Dak does.
No, I mean, you can say that happens sometimes. Sometimes the defense stands tall. Sometimes, I mean, maybe it hurts us more often than not, but that's because they have a better team then. Not because Dak is worse than Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts their team too. Their team responds to the mistakes. Dak's rest of characters there sometimes don't respond, including the defense, who
I
fail
know,
sometimes.
but I think it has less to do with like Jalen Hurts as an individual QB and more just like overall the games, like you said. If Jalen Hurts had this many turnovers and the Eagles' record looked even a tiny bit different, we'd be having a very different conversation right now.
Agreed.
So, if Dak had that many turnovers, but we were winning, we would also still be having a different conversation, although Dak would still be getting even more hate. Like, you know what I mean?
That's the point. The hate is not distributed equally. And that's what I think Micah Parsons said. And I'm not going to get into the media stuff too much, but that's what the media does. They're not going to... Listen, Jalen Hurts is just the quarterback of the Eagles. Dak Prescott's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what gets views and clicks and ratings. So the harder you are on Dak, the better you do. The thing, the way it looks like to me, whether you're hard on Dak or not, just be even about it. If Dak was, we've seen Dak with leading the team to a good start of the season, a good record, and he still gets criticized for every single little mistake. Even when we had a good record last year, It was Dak. Even though they had, similar turnover rates, you can say, right? But still similar winning rates as well. So it just seems like it's biased, and Joey Taylor makes another point of the bias of this media world against the Cowboys, Dak, whoever. The Cowboys, the star. That's what it's about. So, moving on here. Of course, it was a World Series game today. The Philadelphia Phillies, fuck Philly. Glad they lost. They lost today. But if they had won, and the World Series would have gone all 7 games, the eve of the Cowboy-Philly game would have been the Rangers-Philly game. Just saying, like a Saturday night, and then Sunday night would have been... Saturday night would have been the Game 7, and it would have been Philadelphia Phillies at Texas Rangers instead. And then 24 hours later, it would be Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the way it kind of would break down. But again, as we know, no Phillies. Arizona Diamondbacks going against Texas Rangers, and hopefully, again, the Texas Rangers can win. Get that W. So let me get Dak off the screen.
Well, Jared Jones in the chat.
Hey, Jared in the house.
He said, I signed us some real talent.
Oh, we're going to talk about that, Jerry. You did sign some talent today, or at least some prospective talent. We'll talk about that in a minute here. Trust me, we're getting there. We talk about those power rankings, though. Fuck the power rankings, as I say.
Power rankings. Now,
this week we had a bye, but we seem to have, quote-unquote, almost won every one except for that Eagle game. Listen, most places last week had us at 8, and then I see us jump up to 5. I see us at 8. He stayed at 8 on some places, and at NFL.com we were still 8. ESPN was still at 7. USA Today went from 8 to 7. Yahoo stayed at 7. CBS Sports stayed at 6. Athletics stayed at 9. Sports Illustrated jumped us from 8 to 5. So again, you're seeing we moved up basically, not playing because most of the teams around us lost or looked bad or didn't play well, etc., etc., etc. Anyways, the only power ranking that matters is who's holding up that Super Bowl trophy. That's all that matters. Now, I do want to make a quick mention here about Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs, guys, today went live on Instagram from the hospital. After it looks like he was going through some another procedures or whatever it may be. So, or getting back on it, maybe going under. Point is, he was having surgery. Good luck to him on that. It sounds like everything went well when it comes to Trayvon Diggs. Now, where's Jerry Jones again? Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones made some signings today. He signed 4 players to our team. Why isn't anybody hearing more about this when I'm talking about this? Listen.
No, why isn't this front page news?
The Cowboys began Tuesday with 4 open spots on the practice squad. Guess what? We filled them all. We talked about it yesterday. Jerry Jones said, let me make a move here. So Jerry signed 4 guys. The Cowboys worked out a bunch of guys last week. Cowboys had 4 roster spots open, and then we released a bunch of guys. I think we had one guy taken off, poached off the team. So, again, bye week, no rush to fill these spots. Took the opportunity today to fill all 4 today. So who will we sign? Tight end Eric Saubert or Sorbet? Sounds like a sherbet there. Anyways, Eric Saubert from Drake, 2017 5th round pick. So he's been in the league for a little bit. Linebacker Buddy Johnson from Texas A&M. He was a 2021 4th round pick. Guard Chris Glazer. So offensive lineman there. Virginia 2022 undrafted free agent. And guard Adam Pankey. I actually talked about him, I think, last time when we talked about him getting worked out. He was from West Virginia, 2017, undrafted free agent. All 4 guys on our practice squad. This Cowboys, again, if you look at the positions first, we signed a tight end, something we've been short on the Hendershot situation. And then we brought in a new linebacker to a very thin linebacker room. And again, offensive linemen for depth, you always need that. 2 of them. we brought in, 2 guards. So again, just this overview on these guys. Now, what's the actual details? Because I do believe it might be some guys playing on the field. Did you need to?
Yeah. Before you get too into these guys, I did want just a quick comment by Skeptical Fans saying Diggs has been hurt for a good minute, but now he's just barely getting surgery. So remember, similar to Gallup's situation, and we've kind of seen it the last year or two, I think, throughout the NFL. It seems like, I guess, the medical standard or medical procedures now for ACL, MCL tears, looks like depending on the injury and other factors, it's actually recommended that players let the swelling go down before they have surgery or kind of clean up surgery or other things like that. So it seems like it's being done more in stages, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Again, definitely trusting the medical experts here, but it's not a bad thing that he's all of a sudden getting surgery now, long after his injury.
They have you mentioned about waiting. There's the swelling has to go down, all that stuff, but also they want to strengthen the muscles around the ACL and MCL.
Yeah,
that's the working out of those muscles. They still work out, so when the rehab comes, it's easier and it's faster. That's the whole mindset behind waiting a little longer to let the swelling go down, but also to strengthen the surrounding muscles, and then have the surgery, repair it, and then the rehab will come. It will be done faster. It wasn't him being lazy or not taking care of it. Guys, trust me, that's his number one priority, is getting this shit done the right way. And this is the right way, the medically sound way. So, again, that's a good question.
Yeah, no, I wanted to address that, not in the chat, because there's a little more nuance to it than I think I could type in 1 or 2 messages there. So it's something to keep in mind just in a general sense, right? Because, well, fingers crossed, knock on wood, right, that's the only thing that happens, but it's more about the fact that, okay, when can we start expecting Trayvon to kind of come back? What can we expect him to look like? Obviously no one's usually all that at the top of their game this year right after they come back from an injury like this, but it does give Trayvon Diggs a chance to be much more serviceable and play at a higher level than he could have initially been expected to play at coming off of that injury.
Yeah, and plus it's not really delaying anything except for just making his muscles stronger around his ACL and MCL, or ACL tear. We tore the ACL, MCL.
I can't remember which one.
It's one of those CLs.
One of the CLs.
But the point is that when he strengthens, again, it's just going to be something where he gets back on the field faster, and he has enough time. Remember that, guys. He's going to has enough time to be almost 100%, if not by 100%, by training camp.
You know what else we have time for?
Woo!
Shouting out amazing games, kicking things off on the official side of things, and hopping himself right into that jersey raffle with a $10 Cooper Rush Holler saying, "What's up, my MCF? West Coast love, Dallas Cowboys." Thank you so much, Amazing Games. Appreciate you.
DC boys, yes.
So go ahead and tally a notch there.
Well,
another entry.
He's in 3rd place on the overall board. But just as important, even more important, he's in the double jersey raffle right now. I think he's in the membership. I'm not 100% sure. He is in the membership. So if that's there, by the time we do the raffle, he will get 2 raffle entries because he got his 10. He's got the raffle entry. And, hey, I'm just letting you know, if he dropped another 10, guess what? Another raffle entry. And another one. You guys can keep stacking them. There's unlimited entries. Membership, like I said, gives you that bonus entry if you're in it. Once you get to that $10 mark, you're in it. And, again, you have 2 chances. 2 different chances to win 1 jersey. So we have 2 lucky winners. Can't wait. Much love to the Lunatic. And go Cowboys.
Speaking of the Lunatic, he brings up a good point as far as real quick the injuries. Unfortunately, medicine has improved for ACL, MCL, Achilles injuries just because of the sheer number of them.
They have to study it more.
One of the more unfortunate parts is that as things kind of progress in the NFL, we're finding ways to make the game much safer, but those types of injuries seem to be a little bit more on the rise. And, I can't remember, but McCarthy mentioned it a few weeks ago or something. Part of it is just the fact that we're asking such big physical players to make such finesse moves,
and
right?
with a lot of speed and turf.
Yep. So when you're so even a guy who isn't all that athletic or agile, if you're making a fast move or you're expected to make a fast cut, So again, interested to see what the science and the numbers and the stats kind of say on how we can continue to avoid these types of injuries. Unfortunately, it is sometimes like the draw.
Yeah. So again, it's just going to be bad luck. It's just like this, bad luck, and there you go. So as we keep looking at this, I want to go to the moves that Cowboys made today. and kind of stick on that because listen, I'm gonna fly through these guys, but you got to remember
none of these 4 names are anything close to what we were hoping the Cowboys would be doing. But what do these guys bring to the table?
Let's start linebacker, Buddy Johnson. It sounds like a car salesman.
I know.
Buddy Johnson was drafted in the 4th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2021. The Cowboys will be his 5th team in that time frame. He's only played in 4 games. So again, very, very at the bottom of the depth chart, practice squad guy. So let's just know who he is, right? We got rid of Mikel Johnson. He was a linebacker. We basically replaced him with this guy. We have guard Chris Glazer. He was an undrafted free agent from Virginia in 2022. He signed with the Chiefs. He was also with the Jets. He's played 0 freaking games. So again, another very deep guard, offensive line depth guy. Now let's go to maybe a little bit more, a little bit better side of things with the other 2 guys. Guard Adam Pankey. Hanky Panky. He was an undrafted free agent in 2017 out of West Virginia. He's bounced around the league and has participated in 9 games so far. He started in 1 game in 2019 for the Miami Dolphins. Now, the thing about him I think the Cowboys like is not only is a little more experience than the other guys, but Pankey appeared at left tackle, left guard, and right tackle. So everything but center this preseason. And he also worked mostly at center last season.
Okay.
So he's a 5 guy. He's like a Farniak replacement and on our practice squad right now. Just think of him as a Matt Farniak who could play all over the place. And I'd say the biggest get for us in this group is tight end Eric Saubé. Saubé. I don't know how to say his name, but Saubert, as I want to say it. He was drafted. He's a tight end drafted by the Falcons in the 5th round in 2017. He's jumped around from multiple teams, right? But he's also started now, not played in, but started 15 games. He's played in 74 games. So he has a lot of experience. He's probably the best guy we've got out of these 4. He has only 33 catches for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns in his entire career. Again, starting in 2017 with the Falcons. Now, I do want to just kind of say a couple other things. His height, he's 6'5". His weight, he's 253 pounds. All right, he's a tight end. I'm going to kind of look at him for a second because, again, where would he fit in our system? We're very light. We don't have John Stevens anymore. Hendershot's banged up, so he's kind of our 4th. I'd say, we have Princeton Fant. He's kind of a fullback hybrid tight end. So he's kind of our tight end, and so is now Eric Saubert, our kind of our 2 practice squad tight ends. So we have 5 tight ends on the roster right now with Hendershot on IR or not going to play for a while. So the thing is, where he's going to fit, he's a versatile, dependable blocking type tight end. So another Schoonmaker, like a backup to Schoonmaker type there. Listen, how will he work in the Cowboy system? We'll see how. I really love our coach at the tight end spot who can find some development from our tight ends. Lunda Wells was a great job with our tight ends and teaching them. But he's a blocking tight end, this guy, so that falls right into Lunda Wells' kind of skill set there to teach. And he has more positive attributes than negative ones, you can say. He has to adapt to the Cowboy scheme. We'll see how he does in the Mike McCarthy scheme.
I'm sure we'll get him situated.
And if I'm hearing right, I think even Law Nation said that he got his 82 jersey. He's going to get that even with Witten. So you're going to see him wearing number 82 on that field. Look to see that happening, I guess. That's something that's probably a little bit, I don't want to say shocking for me, but we don't give away Witten's jersey that fast, that easy. The thing is, he's a practice squad guy. It's his number as well. Jerry Jones was like, go ahead, you can take 82. So look, either way, just what's the wrap up on this guy, the best guy of the bunch here? Tight end Eric Saubert, he excels as being a really reliable blocking tight end. That's basically what he is, right? He has strong leverage. He has a good little, kind of like a good mix of speed with decent size, 6'5", decent size. He's not that slow, guys, for a tight end that big. He's 4.6 in the 40. He has some agility. He has some okay route running abilities, and he's also able to line up in the slot. So there's movement there. He's a blocking tight end that can line up in the slot. And the versatility is where I think the Cowboys, when we talked about the offensive lineman Pankey, I think this is where the Cowboys are looking at a tight end that has versatility, blocking and also floating out there in the slot. He could kind of a little bit Schoonmaker-ish. Let me be honest. So you're seeing the McCarthy kind of get on here on this with this guy here with Eric Sorbet. And again, he has you can look at the negatives when it comes to him. He's a little slow when he gets his hands up to catch the ball. So he's not good with the reaction, you can say, on the short, quick passes, which is what this scheme is about. Well, he's going to fit in this? I don't know, because that's what's going to be a lot. And he's not great on short possession style kind of West Coast quick throws. The results usually, again, he drops happen to him. He knocks them up in the air. A contested catch. That opportunity is missed. He doesn't even. He sort of stands like, hey, can you trust him to like divert the interception? No, I mean he's a with quick short passes he's a liability. So again, his size that he does have 250 plus and 6'5", he doesn't use that size to his advantage as much as he should. He allows smaller defenders to kind of get through him, get past him. So again, good overall blocker, fantastic, very good blocker, but doesn't really has a lot of attributes that slow him down from really being anything more. So again, as our fourth or fifth tight end, fantastic. That's what we did today. No trades. So now, I don't know if anybody has any comments on our guys, but I do want to talk about a couple of quick trade options for the Cowboys. But is there anybody that spoke about these new guys?
He said a blocking tight end won't help if the inner five don't block right.
And I agree to an extent. To me, it's more like we already have Ferguson, who's decent, who's damn good blocker, and a really good blocker is Schoonmaker. And Hendershot's not as good, but he's not in there right now. So we have Sean McEwen, who's a pretty damn good blocker too. So we got another good blocker now added to the bunch of blockers that we have that are good already. So that's my confusion. Are we overkilling here with the blocking tight ends? The only one that's not a blocking tight end is really Hendershot, and he's on IR.
Bruce got the text that you're saying 9 and 82 back on the field again, eh?
9 and 82. Oh, you mean with Romo and then Witten? Yeah,
there you go.
They're back on the field. Turpin and now our new guy here, Sabe.
Eric Black, much love, saying, "Look, no disrespect to my Cowboys family, but understand this and hear me clearly. We're good to go to the playoffs, but we won't attend the Super Bowl until Jerry lets go of the team. And until then, let's just enjoy the football."
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hope somehow the team can overcome the Jerry Jones factor, but yeah, that's never going to happen. Jerry Jones is going to have to die before that happens. And then we got Steven Jones, so the same DNA shit going down. I hear you, Eric. Trust me, I hear you. Now, let me kind of switch gears here to the trade side. Because, again, no motion on the trade side of things for us. Other teams are doing this and this, wheeling and dealing. The Eagles, they're improving. And our little front office here, the a.k.a. Clown Show, Jerry Jones, Steven Jones, they spoke today on this. Actually, Jerry did, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. But first, who can we go grab out there, right? Again, when you look at our future at cornerback, Trayvon Diggs come back next year, we're not going to have Stephon Gilmore, it looks like, right? Because he's a one-year deal. So, in my opinion, you want to talk about trading for Brazil. Yesterday we talked about maybe going at linebacker. What's the Viking guy? Oh, shit, I can't believe the guy's name now. But he was a former Eagle, Jordan Hicks. He would be a guy we could go at linebacker and not give up too much. I think there's a situation where at cornerback, we might have to give up a little more, but this guy's well worth it, not just for the current now, but for the future. Listen to this. We get aggressive and go for Chicago Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson. Why do I say this? First off, he's a former second-round pick. He's gotten off to a fantastic start this year. He has an 80.9 coverage grade. That's tied for 7th best in the NFL among cornerbacks who've played over 100 defensive snaps. So we're talking about cornerbacks that have some good sample size underneath them. He's also going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Why is that important? Well, Cowboys can kind of, the Cowboys can go after him and try to go in a bidding war with him to bring him into Dallas, right? But we could also, and just wait on him. We don't have to trade for him, which is going to be another guy that I'm going to bring up in the future. But look for this guy here, Jalen Johnson. If the Bears are going to let him go, Cowboys maybe can look at him for a future replacement for this guy on your screen. And, of course, you're getting, Diggs back. But I think the Cowboys, again, might have to give up a third-round pick to get Jalen Johnson. But think about your third-round pick turning into a guy you can use for the next bunch of years. You have to sign him for a little bit of money, but he's not going to get top money, but he's going to be your solid number 2. Because, again, guys, he's right now they're number 1 in Chicago, and he's doing great. And this move would be smart for the Cowboys this year to help this guy on the screen and then flip it, and he takes over for him, and then Trayvon Diggs gets the help. This is the way I think you cannot draft another cornerback. And then what are you going to, Kelvin Joseph, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to keep missing on these guys, Deshaun writing it. I don't want to get somebody a little more secure for the future, but he's still, he's not a rookie, but he's young and proven. So to me, I look at Jalen Johnson as a top pick. Nobody, half the people are like, who the fuck is he? Like, I don't want to get the big. We're not going to get Patrick Surtain, guys. It's not happening. Get that shit. Get it out of your heads. It's not happening with the Cowboys. But if we give up a third-round pick for Jalen Johnson, who can not just help us a lot this year, but then help us a lot next year the same. For Trayvon Diggs, that's worth it for a third-round pick giving up there. And short and long term, at the end of the 2024 season, this guy right in front of us, Stephon Gilmore, gone. He's going to be gone. Jordan Lewis, he's a free agent as well. He's gone. No Stephon Gilmore, nor Jordan Lewis. You're going to have Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs. If the Cowboys were to acquire someone like Jalen Johnson, it would give the Cowboys a head start. We're starting the race ahead of everybody else, trying to re-sign, trying to re-sign this 24-year-old veteran now, right, to a long-term contract. When we let Stephon Gilmore walk, when we let Jordan Lewis walk, we have our third guy, a third solid guy to our trio of cornerbacks. Simple as that, guys. It's simple as that. I don't want to get Jordan Hicks for 1 year. He's not in the long-term future. But cornerback to help Deron Bland go back to slot and dominate there. He dominates outside as well. But now Jordan Lewis having a little issue sometimes there inside. Imagine if you have Deron Bland back to his natural slot nickel cornerback position, and then you have a Jalen Johnson on the outside playing like a number one style over there in Chicago next to Stephon Gilmore. It's going to help both guys. So I say that's a very good path. Of course, like I said, the Cowboys could wait, go into a bidding war, and get him in free agency. Another guy that I would say, if you don't want to go that route with the family in the chat, Kendall Fuller from the Washington Commanders. A guy I liked from a couple years ago when he was a free agent. Stephon Gilmore and Jordan Lewis, again, both their contracts are expiring. So you want to get a little head start there, you can go with a Kendall Fuller. Now, I don't think we trade for him, but I do think he is going to be a free agent in 2024. Keep that in mind. So you can pair him also as an outside cornerback for the Cowboys, a solid veteran on the on the other side. So whether it's a trade for Jalen Johnson or you wait to the free agency to get Jalen Johnson or Kendall Fuller, you know what I'm saying? That would be major. I think also Fuller can play slot if needed. So he can play all over the field, and Deron Bland can go inside and outside as well. A good, disguise kind of factor for Dan Quinn. Again, Fuller is an 8-year pro. So again, he can go out there and basically, for maybe a little cheaper, replace Stephon Gilmore. I'm just trying to give you guys the future watch here for our team as we go and get ready to go forward from our, year to year here in this upcoming season. That's why you're not seeing any trades. So I don't know what anybody thinks about those trades specifically or any other moves that's realistic, but that's the most realistic things I see the Cowboys doing.
Let me see here. Kind of rolling back a little bit here. James Hurst said, Dallas is in win mode now that the O-line is getting old. So, and clearly these trades line right up with these acquisitions. Free agent pickups, line right up with that. So, rolling back a little bit. Let me see here. Dulutic saying it. Our new guys are practice squad talent. Let's make a mid-level trade here, Steve.
Yeah.
I
think I mentioned
some back and forth in the chat, of course, as far as who is actually leading the team. I do agree. I think that Stephen Jones has definitely been running the show for the last 8 to 10 years.
Behind the
scenes.
I think
that Jerry still has influential moments. So there are still Jerry considerations or Jerry specifications, right, that we still have to kind of follow. But for the most part, I do agree. I think that Steven is given relatively free range to, build or acquire team talent as he sees fit. So
yeah, no, look, I think that I don't know if he's in full. Obviously, Jerry Jones is in full control, but I think Stephen Jones has more control than he had in the past. And I do agree with you for the last 6-7 years, definitely going on. But when you say a mid-level trade, I do agree. I think a mid-level trade is exactly what the Cowboys need to do, which to me, Jalen Johnson is not your top guy. He's almost on that route. He's on that line of like above average to excellent, I think, a potential for him. A young guy that can almost look as a third-round pick but you got a couple years in the league already. I think that'd be a great value trade for a third rounder. So we'll see what the Cowboys do. Maybe give away Jordan Lewis in a trade like that. I don't know, and give up a fourth rounder instead. But just some options for the Cowboys if you want to look about not just this year but the future. Jalen Johnson and then Kendall Fuller. As a couple-year guy, 1-year guy, you don't want to put too much on him. He's getting older. But these are the guys that can help us to fix the Stephon Gilmore hole we'll have next season.
So, let me see here. As Modi has said it, like fool's gold. The lunatic throwing out there as well. I always remind Cowboy Nation, Steve put hands on Jared when Jared signed Primetime, and that said a lot to me.
Interesting.
So now Seabass is asking a pretty important question to ask, right? I'm confused. What is Will McClay's role if Steven is taking over the bidding?
Again, Will McClay runs the scouting department. He's not the GM. So, again, he's not called the GM. He's the player, personnel in charge of, whatever that name is he has. But it's like a three-headed GM. Stephen Jones runs the deals. He runs the money side of things. McClay runs the rookies, the acquiring of people based off of the money they're going to use through Stephen Jones. And Jerry Jones makes the final decisions on things. No matter what, that's still the guy who makes the decisions. He's still signing the checks, and he does still want his input. But, yeah, other guys may have a little more input now than they did in the past. Will McClay still is really working with the drafting stuff, with the scouting of players, or bringing in players, putting them at the table for Jerry and Stephen to figure out. And then Stephen Jones says, no, we can't afford him, or him. So let's look at these cheap bottom-of-the-barrel guys, and then that's what they go with and do their best. And Will McClay does his best with that opportunity that he has with presenting them guys that probably he would like to maybe be able to bring better guys into the mix. For Will McClay, there's only so much he can do, though. He ain't running the money side of the show when it comes to that. So anyways, speaking of the people running the show here, let's talk about Jerry Jones. Because Jerry Jones did speak today on, I think it was on 105 Through the Fan.
He said a few things.
Shannon RJ's show he was on today. Again, it's always Tuesday. It's always a day where, Jerry Jones jumps on the screen. And he, of course, said a couple of things. Starting with, we just talked about trade deadline. Trade deadline is on Halloween, literally, right? And I think it's next Tuesday. And there have been mixed reports on how aggressive the Cowboys are going to be expected to be. And we got a little more answers from Jerry Jones today about how aggressive the Cowboys are going to be. So, baby, how's this outlook look here for the deadline, October 31st? Are we going to make a trade? Are we going to make a move? What did Jerry have to say?
It'll have to come our way. I don't want to preclude it in any way, but it always does. You have a lot of machinations that you're working with every day. I do, but the initiation of an opportunity to make a trade at this time that would help us principally has to start on the other end. That's not showing a lack of aggressiveness. It's just that's where it starts.
So right there, he's saying, we're waiting for other teams to call us because we are so good. We don't have to be aggressive. That's what it sounds like he's saying. We're not lacking aggressiveness. It's just we are good with our guys. That's what it feels like. Let him continue. What else did he say?
He said, you're laying in wait, so to speak. I have areas of the team that we could, if certain circumstances happen, improve. You vote on that your best chance to get it done is when it comes by you and you grab it. That's just generally speaking. To go out and push it, the odds of getting it done at the price and the trade conditions that you would expect us dreaming.
Yeah, expect is dreaming. And yes, the fucked up thing here is that's a difference between Jeff Lurie, the Eagles GM, or Howie Roseman, their GM, who goes out and gets shit done, and Jerry Jones sitting there sipping on a drink on his yacht and saying, whenever someone calls us, we'll look into things. That is not aggressive. That's called pussified. That's called shying away from actually trying to improve your team, and that bothers me about Jerry Jones. It always does. It always will. And he also continued a little bit more on this subject of,
personnel.
Yeah, personnel. Well, yeah, not personnel. Personnel. Our team right now with our players. What did he have to say?
He said, "Oh, where did it go?"
Okay, what are you doing, baby?
Let me see. There it is. Sorry, it just went away. So he said, "I like where we are with our personnel today. So I'm not thinking in any way that we need to upgrade our roster. I would really extend to improve our team right now, so that gives you an idea because I think we've got a team that's a contender. So I would do it right now. Would I do something that would take away from this team so it can help us in the future? Probably not.
So he's saying...
So that kind of
he's not trading draft
exited
picks.
out two things. One, we're obviously not trading draft picks. So two, by that comment, it makes you think we're not trying to trade any of like our players either to make something happen, right? Because he's basically saying like, would I take away from this team so it can help us in the future? Probably not. That's how I took that statement.
Yeah, trading guys away as well.
Exactly. So would you agree with that?
Listen, he's saying he likes where we're at right now. He likes the roster. And he says that he's not thinking in any way to need to upgrade the roster. So, obviously, whatever thing we're talking about, like I just said about cornerback, will help us now in the future. What I just said about linebacker yesterday, what we said about whether it's receiver, tight end, or other places. He's going with his undrafted guys. He's going with the Sorbet. He's going with again, Rashaan Evans. Maybe I want to see what he's got to do. But he's going to go with his guys because Jerry Jones likes his players, and there's no need to make a move. So everybody out there screaming, whether you're screaming loud or just saying, hey, let's do something, whatever it is, he doesn't see the need because we're a contender. He just wants us contending. Remember what I said this about one of the pillars, his 4 pillars? It's a fact. He said it. One of them is being competitive. Again, the basis is if you're competitive, you're still going to bring the money in if you're Jerry Jones and own that star. So that's his goal, just to be competitive. And if you win a championship, but competitiveness is number one. So he knows that we have a contender. He knows we're not going to probably get to the Super Bowl with this current situation, yet he's telling everybody we're good where we're at. We like our personnel right now. Still left the door open a little bit, you can say, like extending this team. Extend. What does that mean, extend the team? I mean, go out there and make a move, but no, he does not. So again, and he's implying that the only way we make a trade is if we take away from the team now, like you said, a player. But what about draft picks? That means that, man, he don't want to trade draft picks either. So what are we talking about, guys? He's going to keep making, he's going to make practice squad pickups. That's what he's going to be doing. That's all he's going to do. So, finish up what Jerry Jones said. He talked a little bit more about the way the Cowboy team is. Says we're competitors. We're one of the teams right now. It's a contender. We're a contender. So we're one of the contenders out there. What did he say about us stacking up to these other teams like the Niners and the Eagles?
He said, I would have liked to have played better against the 49ers. You see a team step up and play like Minnesota did and their QB did, they can be had, the 49ers. 4-2. I'll take it for sure. But we have better football ahead of us.
It's funny how he said that, the Niners can be had. And he said also a team step up, Minnesota, the quarterback. Come on, he's talking about Dak there a little bit. Anyways, what else did he say, as far as the Cowboys being the same level as the Niners and the Eagles?
He said, we belong in the upper echelons. I'm not going to say we belong on the field with San Fran, and we haven't played Philly. I'm anticipating Philadelphia being what they look like. So I don't want to go that far, but we're in the middle. We're in the upper echelon.
Yep. So, again, you're seeing Jerry Jones's cockiness, confidence, overconfidence, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, I'm not surprised that he personally sees it that way, considering he just straight up said, we're not trying to trade for any outside talent, and we're not trying to trade our guys to bring in any more talent, right? If he truly does feel like this team is good to go and fine as is, I'm not surprised he considers us in the upper echelon.
Yeah, I mean,
as he says.
Yeah, so there you go. Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones things. No surprises there.
Yeah. So what is surprising though?
Yeah, tell us, baby.
The fact that if you're here watching and you didn't hit the like, what are you doing? What you doing? Seriously, guys, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Make sure to hop in the Discord as well. Link for that's in the description box down below. An extra special shout out to everybody representing, like our sponsor of the week, SnugX, the Cash App King, SnugX, and Jason Renfro, the stream boss, of course, much love, the gifting membership king, Skeptical Fan, right?
Nope.
Who?
Jason Renfro.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, he took it over.
I forgot that he did take it over.
But Skeptical Fan is in the lead on the overall board and on the gifting board. He has 3-0. He's beating everyone. Much love to Skeptical Fan. And basically, when it comes to the Cash App side, the leader, we all know him, is Jason Renfro. He's showing up on a couple of different places. Much love to all you guys supporting the channel here on MyCowboysFamily. But maybe there's one other major thing we got to say. And it's coming from the Lunatic.
That's right, guys.
Lunatic, double jersey raffle.
Can't wait to see. But guys, $10, bam, you're automatically entered. The entries do stack, so every additional 10 is another additional bonus entry. And of course, membership has its perks. You do get an additional bonus entry if you are an MCF member.
Yep, the Navy Blue Silver Star over everything. Unlimited entries. Again, 2 very lucky winners. Sewn and stitched jersey style. What do you want? Which style? What player? Historic, legend, Hall of Famer, current. A lot of choices. So good luck to the 2 winners right now. We just had a couple people in this raffle right now. Just kind of kicking it off. But just a couple people officially in the raffle and a couple people that have a couple extra raffle entries. Everyone is in the same region when it comes to the chances to win a jersey here on My Cowboys Family. So we'll be bringing that up here. Of course, keeping tabs on that the entire week and beyond. Of course, this week's going to be crazy for us. We're going to be in Dallas, having a little Dallas weekend here for the kids who first time going to Dallas and first time seeing a Cowboy game. First seeing an NFL game, but this is the first time, what better way to start off your NFL in-person watching career than in Big D at AT&T Stadium for a Cowboy game. And that's what we're going to do, the wife, myself, and the kids. Their first game. We got a streak going. We're going to keep it going. So, hey, we might see you guys out there. We'll be repping that star. You can't miss us. Now, when it comes to the Cowboys in this upcoming game against the Rams, you look at some of the numbers here. The Cowboys have won 10. This is important for us because the Cowboys have won 10 straight games at home. That's the longest active home winning streak in the NFL. So we're going to a home game. They're going for the same streak that Snug X got, 11 in a row. We got to get this 11th straight home win for our Cowboys. The longest home streak for the Cowboys was 11 straight games. That ended in the 1992 season when we won Super Bowl, 27. When we won Super Bowl 27, guys, of course, we started the next season 2 losses back to back. So that was our home streak ended as far as wins are concerned. In that season we won a Super Bowl. So just want to throw it out there, baby. We can get to that same, plateau, that same top spot there. A historic game for us if we get this win against the Rams. We go there and tie the Super Bowl champion Cowboys in the 90s. That's maybe a good sign. We'll see. Now, there's a couple other things I wanted to say here. Again, since the Cowboys lost to the Niners, that horrible game, the Cowboys have gone 1-0, while the top rivals in the NFC have gone 1-3. The Eagles won 1, they lost 1. The Niners have lost 2, and the Lions have lost 1 as well. So I'm just saying, look, all I'm trying to say is this: the Cowboys' odds of winning the NFC East now, 28%. So 1/4. The chance for the Cowboys to get the number 1 seed if they win the NFC East, 36%. We're 10% right now to get the number 1 seed. But if we win the NFC East, we have a 36% chance to get the number 1 seed. That's how important. I don't really care about it. Of course, it's great to win the East. But the fact is, like I said yesterday, if we win the East, that's not just the East. That's a bye, number 1 seed, and a home field throughout the playoffs. That's really the meaning of the NFC East this season, I think. That's what it's looking like. That's what the odds are saying.
And let's be honest. We all have seen the way that these cookies crumble, right? That could be the difference between us finally appearing in an NFC championship game, right? And or beyond. Or just continuing along the same path of barely above average that we have been, right? So, because that's something that we haven't done. And I think the last time that we had the first seed, we won it all. We blew it.
Well, that was 2016. We did it in 2007. Those were some unfortunate endings to our seasons there in the divisional round at home. Not good.
I know, but for those variety of reasons, obviously that season fell very, very flat.
Yeah, look, when you look at our team, when you look at Dak Prescott, 72.2 when it comes to his completion percentage rate. 72.2%. When opponents bring 5 or more pass rushers. Well, that means when Dak is getting blitzed, Dak is one of the best in the NFL. He has completed 39 of 54 passes. And that completion rate against the blitz, 72.2%, is third best in the NFL. You know who went from third place to first place?
Woo.
Amazing Games, West Coast style, with that $20 holla Tony Pollard style, taking Jason Renfro down to 26 points on the Stream Boss. By the way, baby, now he's got himself not just the one, not just two more now, but also, of course, the membership. That's 4 raffle entries. Amazing Games. And the best chance right now to win one of the 2 jerseys here coming up around the corner. So
thank you so much, Amazing Games.
Much love.
You know what he had to say.
I gotta know. Please
Tony
tell me what
Pollard
he said.
drop.
What you say?
Lunatic, badass sponsor.
Hell yeah.
100% real talk.
He is listen, we got so many different sponsors we can shout out, but again, when it comes to the season, the Lunatic runs the show. So much love to Lunatic, of course, Snug X, Marco Seppian, they're always in the mix, Jason Renfro, but when it comes to giving back, man, that is fantastic. Yeah, Skeptical Fan giving back to the membership gifting side of things, man. You guys make the world go round here at MCF. Cannot do it without you guys. And yes, on this specific thing tonight for the raffle, much love to the Lunatic doing his thing, and congrats to Amazing Games getting 2 more entries in there on top of the 2 he already had.
That's right, he's stacking them.
He's stacking them up. Much love to you, brother. Appreciate you, and go Cowboys. 26 Deron Bland points on that Stream Boss. By the way, speaking of Deron Bland, baby, when he's targeted, second-year cornerback has allowed a passer rating of 22.7. That is also third among all NFL cornerbacks in the NFL of at least 100 snaps. So that's Deron Bland is Deron dominating out there. 22.7 is the rating. When you target him, you ain't going to get very much success. Deron Bland is going to knock the ball down, pick it off, cause an incompletion, being good in coverage, make you overthrow it. So, that's how we're looking at there with number 26, Jason Renfro's right now current Stream Bossage. Now, Dak throwing the ball, we talked about him a minute ago, and against the blitz, 72.2, third best in the NFL against the blitz. Fantastic for Dak. But what about his recipient here, CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee has caught 34 of the 42 passes thrown in his direction. He had 42 targets, but he's caught 34 of them. That means he has an 81% reception, 81 reception percentage. That is, again, number 2 in the NFL among all receivers. That means he's the best. When you get the ball to him, he's catching it. And again, that's a minimum of 30 targets. So CeeDee Lamb looking great. This is not just a one-game thing. This is a season thing. You can look at this continue. Hopefully this continues for Deron Bland, CeeDee Lamb, and for Dak Prescott. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go on. By the way, one last thing I want to run through something here on the offense. I know we're talking our defense today against their offense in a moment, and we're wrapping it up then after that. But let's take a look at Dak Prescott real quick. We'll talk much more about Dak against this Rams defense tomorrow. But today's the offense. But today we're going to talk about our defense versus their offense. But let me just touch on Dak's career stats against the Rams. He's 60 completions for 98 attempts. Only a 61.2% completion percentage, which is obviously a lot less than his blitz percentage right now. 730 yards against the Rams, 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Now, all-time ranks, when you look at Dak's ranks, all-time rankings for Cowboy quarterbacks. He's number 1 in Cowboy team history with 66.7 completion percentage. So again, I told you guys 72.2 for the blitz this year. But when it's not blitzing, in his career, he's got a 66.7% completion percentage, number 1 amongst all Cowboy quarterbacks in our history. He's second in passing touchdowns in our history, in Cowboy history. He's number 2, 172 passing touchdowns for Dak Prescott, which to me is like mind-blowing that he has that many touchdowns. He's also third in Cowboy history when it comes to passing yards, 26,276 yards passing. He has third in history in attempts, 3,473 attempts, and he's the third in Cowboy history in completions, 2,317 completions. So again, first, second, third in Cowboy history. He's also fourth for number 4 in total wins in Cowboy history as a quarterback. 65 wins for him right now. Dak Prescott, we can say what we want. He's got the longevity. He may not be a top 5 quarterback. He may never be that, but he's definitely a top 3rd quarterback in the NFL without question. And Dak, he entered 2023 this year having thrown at least 1 touchdown pass against 29 other NFL teams. He did that against everybody. Entering this year, he threw at least 1 touchdown pass to 29 of the 31 other teams in the league. everybody but the Jets and the Chargers he had thrown a pass against, a touchdown pass. He scored against the Jets a passing touchdown. He had 2 of them actually in the air, and he had 1 against the Chargers last week. So, again, Dak now has thrown. He's now the 30th quarterback in history to be able to throw a touchdown pass against 31 or more teams in his career. And that's still a hard thing to do, and you have to kind of be around. You got to be able to be around and play the AFC teams often. Dak's done it. Now, and did it all with the same team. Now, again, I'm going to switch over one last thing on offense before I go to this matchup situation going down here in the Rams. Jake Ferguson, guys, when you look at him and what he's going to do this week against the Rams, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. But this is a good week for Ferguson to get back maybe into being targeted. I talked about CeeDee Lamb a couple weeks ago. We need to target him more. They did that. We were successful. We did well. We got to target Ferguson this week against the Rams. And I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be looking for this. But we got to target Jake Ferguson, number 87. And, Schoonmaker and the rest. But it's Ferguson specifically, baby. Since week 1, he's caught 19 of 22 targets. Like last year, he didn't have any missed targets. He was 100% reception percentage. But this year, he's only missed 3 passes, to him. He's averaging 5.58 yards per catch after reception, which means he actually, getting almost 6 yards after the catch. That's big for Ferguson to be doing that so far. Pretty much every time this year he's got the ball in his hands. The Rams defense, here's the key though. The Rams defense allows a NFL league worst 12.8 yards per reception to tight ends and the 6th most yards per game to tight ends. So the Rams do not do good in covering the tight end player position. So Ferguson, Schoonmaker, come on. Maybe we're going to be at the game. This is what we should be seeing. The tight ends being used a little bit more often against a very weak Rams defensive, tight end coverage side of things. So we're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. But I just want to give you guys a little preview for what's coming up when it comes to talking about the matchup we're going to have with our offense versus their defense. Now, look, really quick, baby, I do want to make a mention about the field goal kicker for the Rams, or at least used to be. We talked about him yesterday. Actually, I talked a lot about him yesterday. Brett Maher, former Cowboy, right? Guys, after he missed those 2 field goals on Sunday and the extra point against the Steelers, guess what the Rams did today? The Rams released Brett Maher today. You didn't know that. So they released Brett Maher, gone. Now he's a free agent. No, we don't want him back. But the Rams then signed, who is going to be their kicker? Well, they signed the new kicker today. Kicker Lucas Havzrisik. All right? So before he joined the Browns practice squad, he was taken off the Browns had him. He was last with the Browns. So prior to joining the Browns practice squad in late August this season, Havrisik spent time with the Colts after going undrafted out of the University of Arizona last season. Now, Havrisik had a tryout for the Colts in the rookie minicamp. He had workouts with other teams going through training camp. The Colts signed him to the practice squad to compete with Chase McLaughlin for the starting job last September. The job, of course, went to McLaughlin. And Havrisik, whatever his fucking name is, he made only 34 of 53 field goals. And he made 73 of 78 extra point attempts across the 5 years he was with Arizona. According to that same, stat base right there, he was Arizona's long-range specialist, meaning he handled kickoffs and only long field goals, right? So he has a strong leg. Is he accurate? No, but he has a strong leg. And again, the Cardinals had at a time had him as the long kicker and Tyler Loop as their short. They had 2 kickers. One kicking, shorter field goals. The other one, being Havrisik, who's going to kick the kickoffs and kick the longer field goals. So you're seeing what the kicker they got is more about distance than anything, really. And again, he's a native of Riverside. He finished his career at 50 with 5 50-plus yard field goals, making him the only Wildcat to make more than 3 in his career in the last 25 years. So he also holds Arizona's program for the longest field goal made. He converted twice from 57 yards. So, this kicker is just it's basically Maher, but, just a shaky. Let's put it that way. It's the guy with a distance, he can hit him from far. but he ain't going to make them so reliably. So, that's, probably don't have much more to talk about when it comes to the special teams. I will try to get some information on the punter, returner, whatever it is. But we're going to focus on the offense right now of the Rams. All right? And again, look, you see the thumbnail. That's what I see when I look at their logo. I don't know why it's so prominent. I don't know why the Rams people didn't check their freaking logo department. But,
I feel like every logo should be given to, like, a focus group of 12-year-olds to see how quickly they can make a dick out of it. Just because, I'm just saying, like, there's no better way to double-check your stuff for accidental penis than there is to maybe give it to some teenage boys to try to find a way around that.
There's also going to be, again, their horn turns into 3 points. That's hopefully all they score, if anything. But
Not
we'll
anymore.
See. Yeah, I know. Now they got rid of Maher, so that's over.
Maharati no longer.
But we do have to ram the Rams. That's very important. And again, LA Rams, LA Lames, whatever you want to call them. Either way, guys, we got to face a team that has some of these guys and coaches on the offensive side of the ball there. So you're seeing our guys like Dan Quinn, Micah Parsons, got to do something about this team. Now look really quickly. Stafford's the quarterback. Brett Ripken, formerly of Denver, he's the backup to Stafford. Royce Freeman is currently their starter. He's a guy that's played minimum. All their 3 guys are injured. We talked about this. Zach Evans, the rookie, also in the mix there. Myles Gaskins, Henderson. These guys will be the running backs they're going to be using. A tight end, Tyler Higbee, solid tight end there. Bryson Hopkins. Those are the 2 tight ends they're going to be running there. At receiver, they got Tutu Atwell. Who's their 3rd guy of the group, right? Puka Nacua, the undrafted rookie, and Cooper Kupp, who, of course, we all know him. He's their slot guy. You remember, guys, he's going to be in the slot, in that slot most of the time, so he's going up against Jordan Lewis, or you might want to move Deron Bland to him. It's going to be interesting what the Cowboys do there. Offensive line, Coleman Shelton at center, Steve Avila, rookie, we know about him. We liked him. He's their starting left guard. Alaric Jackson, their starting left tackles. Kevin Dotson is their right guard. And Rob Havenstein, the known guy here, of course, for the Rams for many years. He's their right tackle. So you're looking at the way they're lined up. That's the way we're going to see when it comes to this offense of the Rams. Now, when you look at these positions, you look at Stafford, number 9. Starting off with Stafford. He didn't play that bad against the Steelers. I'm going to say that this last game, right? But it was his mistakes that were killers, right? His interception, he's been throwing interceptions at inopportune times, whether it was right after the break, after the halftime, which cost them on a drive they were going on. Stafford's making mistakes. He also made a mistake at the end of the game, threw it to T.J. Watt, pick. The receivers for Stafford didn't help him. As a whole, they dropped 3 passes. 2 of them were by Cooper Kupp, so that's a big drop there. They can't afford that. So Stafford's numbers would have been better if his receivers would have caught him last week. And overall, honestly, this year for Stafford, especially the last couple of games, a lot of average performances by Matthew Stafford. Again, I'm sure we'll touch more on him as the week goes on. Again, we talked about it yesterday. A key for Stafford, pressure him. You pressure him, he's going to screw up. Now, running backs. Let's go to the running back spot. You see none of them in picture here because they're all banged up and injured. So now they have their starting guys are Darrell Henderson Jr., who had, I think, 1 less yard than Royce Freeman. They both had 61 and 62 yards, for each guy, and they had 130 yards rushing as a whole. So they balanced it properly. Darrell Henderson is more of a pounding fullback, a pounding running back. Royce Freeman's a little more, you could skate through there a little bit more. But this was Henderson's first game since last year, since last November. This was Freeman's first game, in this offense. So again, these are 2 new guys in the Rams running back core, and that's what we're going to see again this week. That was what they had last week. Their main starters are both out. Kyron Williams and I think, was it Rodgers? Or I don't know. 2 guys are out. They're their starters. So that's it. Now we're going to see Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman mainly be the guys there. I'll say Henderson had 61 yards on 18 carries. Freeman had 66 yards, my fault, on 12 carries, and also a touchdown. Both were very good in pass protection. All we've seen them this year is this game against the Steelers. So, again, with the pass protection, they got to be good in pass protection, or else, of course, it's going to be a long day for Stafford with our defense. But again, with Kyron Williams is a good pass protecting guy, and he is obviously out. So they were hoping that some of these guys could pick up the slack. And yes, Henderson and Freeman did a decent job at the pass protection. Now, baby, speaking of pass protection, how's our defense going to be handling this situation when it comes to, Dan Quinn, the defensive line? What are the coaches saying? They're like 8 and dirty. I know that they got to be saying something about the way this Cowboy team is going to try to handle and control the offensive line, get pressure on Matthew Stafford, and, got to stop the run game as well, slow it down. What do they say?
So Adam Dirty, it was a bit of a mix of what you said, also commenting on a little bit of Mozzie.
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone knows just in case they didn't know, he's our defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So specifically talking on our defensive line and trying to stop the run, get the pressure on the quarterback. So, yeah, he spoke about Mozzie and a couple other guys.
And he specifically mentioned that he's seen growth, quote, a lot. I think we sometimes take it for granted when you come into the game as a first-round pick. The pressure that's on you, college football, the game is a lot different. The way that they get told plays. They're like, they get like 8 snaps a game. The play is moving fast. They don't have to listen to communication, but now all of that's changed. You get into a huddle, someone gives you the communication. You line up. Now what am I getting? Oh, those things are changing. But Dirty said that Mozzie Smith specifically is making marginal gains and that the team is very pleased with his progress.
I'm hoping to see Mozzie play a little bit more every game and get a little bit better and better every game. That's one of the big things you want to see from 58 on that field. We'll see how he does against, we'll talk about the offensive line for the Rams, but they have a pretty solid overall offensive line. I don't think they can still outlast. They're not top 10. So I think that we can still do damage. So, we're going to see how that translates when it comes to our defensive line getting some pressure in there. So now I know we have our linebackers coach also, who's going to be very important in slowing down guys like Tyler Higbee and of course slowing down the running game. Mm-hmm. But I want to say this. I don't know if Aiden Dirty, do you have anything more to say, Dirty?
Dirty, no.
Okay. So when you look at our pass rush, baby, the best 4-man pass rush combo. So when you look at all our 4 pass rushers, when the teams run 4 pass rushers, that means you're not blitzing. All right? So when you look at the best pass rushing combos for the Cowboys, we have, this is the best group of guys pass rushing. Listen. Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, and Micah Parsons. Those are the 4 guys that get the best analytical pass rush on opposing quarterbacks for the Cowboys.
Okay.
When you put those guys against the best of the 4 in the other teams, the Dallas Cowboys are still number 1 in the NFL. When it comes to just 4 pass rushers without blitzing, we are number 1. And by the way, we're number 1 by a lot. By a lot. The Lions are 2, Chargers are 3, Saints 4, Jaguars 5, and down you go. We are number 1, and we are number 1 by a lot. We are at 90.91% when it comes to the pressure and effect we have from our front 4. The next team is the Lions, 69.23. So it's almost a 30% drop. Our defensive front 4. Guys, you don't understand how, some of you guys understand, but the advantage to having only 4 guys going in and getting this kind of pressure is so helpful for the defense. It's like having an extra defensive player on the defense. When you have 4 guys that can give you pressure, like 5 guys are giving you pressure. That's so key. So, again, the Cowboys' best 4 pass rushing unit, again, number 1 in the NFL by a long shot, right? By a very long amount. Features 4 defensive edge rushers. So you're seeing that kind of that, you can see the package. What's the package where you run something like the Daytona 500? Everyone's kind of standing up. That's when you usually see these 4 guys going and getting a lot of good, stuff in there. But again, DeMarcus Lawrence being part of this group here, really rushing from the inside. Great, I got to say, DeMarcus Lawrence really was a great re-signing for the Cowboys, a restructuring to keep him here with this defense, with the scheme of Dan Quinn, and with Micah Parsons next to him. So, a lot of times next to him. So, I just want to throw that in there when it comes to getting pressure on Stafford, and Stafford fucks up. I mean, he drops guys. He goes from already a very average 52% completion percentage. He only completes half his passes. But when he's pressured in any way, hurried, hit, sacked, whatever, when he's hurried in any way, his percentage drops almost 20%. I'm sorry, it's like 15% it drops. He goes to 39% completion percentage when he's under pressure. So that's why I'm making this another key is get pressure on Stafford. That is going to be a huge key. So moving on from this side of things, what's that pressure going to cause? We got to slow down their passing game. Receivers, right? Puka Nacua, unstoppable. I guess I'll get to him in a minute because we're going to talk about the other coaches here that still have to kind of speak. But Puka Nacua is an undrafted rookie, all right, for the Rams. Unstoppable against the Steelers last week. Again, 8 catches, 154 yards. And again, the Rams' other receivers, and I'm including Cooper Kupp in there, not too good against the Steeler defense last week. So something you don't really see from Cooper Kupp. He also had, like I said, 2 drop passes. Again, I think he had 2 of his 7 targets was caught last week. 2 catches for 29 yards for Cooper Kupp. We got to follow that format. And I told you guys how they did this on those key times, on those 3rd downs and 9s. The Steelers doubled down and doubled both Nacua and Cooper Kupp and caused incompletions with the pass rush. We can do the same shit. So Dan Quinn, I'm watching you as you're watching them. That's a way of quinning here against this Rams offense. Now, you got to get in there. If you don't, and you let Stafford extend the play, you're going to get guys that can make plays, whether it's Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, or Tutu Atwell. All right, he scored on a 31-yard touchdown pass. That it looked like it was intended for Cooper Kupp, but Tutu Atwell caught it. That was his only catch of the day. So even though they got some firepower at receiver, obviously they do with Cooper Kupp, Nacua, Atwell. It's more like when do they get the opportunities, because if the pressure's there, if the coverage is decent, and they get slowed down. Now, the other part of the situation here is, the tight end situation. You're going to have the linebacker coach speak here in a minute, but Tyler Higbee, he's really been looked upon as more of a receiver. He could catch the ball and block, but his receiving side of things has been minimal. So he's been slowing down a little bit on the receiving side. He's only caught 1 pass for 7 yards, at least against the Steelers last game. So he also dropped the pass, had some bad, not too big of games in previous weeks. So honestly, you got to keep an eye on Tyler Higbee. J-Ron Curse will be watching him, but Curse should have him locked down if he can get out of his funk for what Curse has been kind of up and down this season. But again, Higbee, he had one catch for 7 yards against the Steelers, had a drop pass that would have been a big gain, another lost opportunity for their tight end there. And again, drops all over the field by the receivers, but he had a drop as well. So tight ends are not helping Stafford. You got to make sure, again, 55%, whatever it is, completion. But he could have been up to 60% or higher if these guys would have caught the ball more often. I will say this, Tyler Higbee, this year, well, not this year, but since week 4, hasn't had more than 20 yards receiving. And no other tight end on their team is contributing as a receiver. So what I'm trying to say is that their tight ends right now are looking like they're, basically useless other than blocking. So whether it's Tyler Higbee...
Which, again, we obviously love our blocking tight ends around here, but you can't be that much of a one-trick pony.
We're almost stacking them up that much, but Ferguson, thank goodness, can do more. So for them, Tyler Higbee, Bryson Hopkins, neither guy, 88, 89 is Higbee. These guys have been, unused in this offense after week 4. Let's say week 4, 5, 6, 7. They haven't been used too much. Neither of them. Higbee's been dropping them. So again, not too strong there on that side of things. Now, I will say, when it comes to our side of things, at linebacker a little bit weaker. I know we have Rashaan Evans. In my opinion, we need to see what he can do stopping the run. Of course, Marquise Bell did a great job start playing the run there for us. What did our linebacker coach have to say? By the way, I always never get his name all the way.
Scott McCurley?
Yeah, Scott McCurley. There he is. Not really done a great job, because the guy really doing a lot of the work was George Edwards. He's not here anymore. So what does Scott McCurley say about the linebackers? What the plan is going forward? We kind of very, I'll say, very not deep at that position for our team, and now going against the Rams who like to run. And establish some of the pass with a lot of 120, 130 yards of running. Yeah, what are the linebackers going to do?
At least in McCurley's opinion, it's not a problem because we play very physically, and the guys that we have helping to fill that role are very physical guys. So he's saying, quote, "In my days in Green Bay, we kind of went back and forth with some roles and how we did it. It's an interesting group right now, that's for sure. At the same time, they're good players. You move Micah off the ball, he's an elite linebacker off the ball too. You've got Bell moving into the room, he can cover and do all those jobs. You got a versatile guy like Damone Clark, who can run the way he is, and it's a great group to have. You could look at it in some ways as a disadvantage, but in a lot of ways, there's a lot of advantages to know how we're built right now." I mean, no offense, that to me sounds like a combination of true statements / excuses for the front office. Yeah, although, I don't blame him.
McCurley doesn't really, to me, hasn't done that much. But anyways, I mean, basically what he's saying, though, is Micah Parsons, yes, going to be used more at linebacker. You can have Marquise Bell. You got Damone Clark. Those are the guys carrying the heavier part of the linebacking load, while J-Ron Kearse, Donovan Wilson will also help out and run support and maybe play some hybrid at the linebacker spot. Try to stop the running backs, try to cover Tyler Higbee in the tight ends. And, when you look at the secondary, which is going to cover the tight ends, the Rams, I'm just going to say this, for the Cowboys secondary, we got to be on top of stuff. We got to apply pressure on Stafford through the offensive line. And the Rams, listen to this, they allowed 12 total pressures last week against the Steelers. They allowed 12 pressures. 6 were given up by Alaric Jackson alone. When you look at Alaric, where's Alaric Jackson playing? He's the left tackle. Now, he, of course, went up against T.J. Watt. This week he goes against Micah Parsons. So, Micah Parsons versus Alaric Jackson, number 77. That is going to be a key to getting pressure and then making the secondary look better with going at Alaric Jackson on their offensive line. Now, Royce Freeman and Higbee, these guys also, in blocking, failed a bunch of times. Higbee missed the block. Freeman missed the block, even though they're better than they expected. And the other Rams offensive linemen, I'm talking about Steve Avila, the rookie, Coleman Shelton, the center, Kevin Dotson, the right guard, and Rob Havenstein, their best starting guy there. They also allowed 4 pressures on the other 4 guys. So again, they're locking stuff down. Pretty much 4 out of the 5 guys on that line. By the way, Rob Havenstein and TJ versus TJ Watt, when they went up against each other, TJ Watt didn't do shit. Something to keep in mind there, Dan Quinn. Do not waste a lot. You can go up there a little bit. Do not waste a lot of Micah Parsons against Rob Havenstein. Now, I will say, Mike has crushed Havenstein in the past before. Trust me. Still, why use more of him when you can dominate from Alaric Jackson? And every play is wrecked if you go up against Alaric Jackson compared to, getting through there once in a while with Rob Havenstein and having Micah use up more energy. So either way, guys, putting pressure is going to be major to help the secondary here. And they're going to have to try to slow down a pass rush that, is probably better. I would say obviously better than the Steelers' pass rush. Pretty good for the Steelers, don't get me wrong. So it's going to be tough for their offensive line to hold back what we're going to bring this week. Unless they have the quick passes, which they will. We have to play the press defense and make sure they don't get, we got to throw them out of their rhythm, the timing, and make sure that these guys are sticky in coverage so our defensive line can get in there and get that pressure that will really alter the game. So, that's all I got to say, baby. I know you have a little more, because with this pressure that we're going to bring, it's going to bring the secondary kind of having to step up here, and you're going to have to stop the quick passes. And if the play is supposed to go 2.5 seconds and the pressure is coming, the coverage has to be great. So, what's Joe Witt Jr.? That's Dan Quinn's right-hand man. He's the guy who replaces Dan Quinn if something happens to Dan Quinn. So what is Joe Witt Jr. saying as he's, kind of helping our passing game on defense? He's our pass game coordinator on defense. And he's also, of course, cornerbacks and safeties coach there. He's our defensive backs coach, Joe Witt Jr. How he's going to look with our guys going forward against these Rams.
He said, I saw that they changed the rule.
Which rule are we talking about?
And he's talking specifically about the Rooney rule and the whole coaching.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the players. My fault.
No. It folds into that, right? So he said, to be honest with you, my focus is how we can play a better brand of defense. We have a group that has an opportunity to be special. We're not playing up to that every week. You see spurts of it, but how can we consistently do that? Yes, I do want to be a head coach. I want to be a coordinator in this league, but my main focus right now is this team, because it's going to help more than anything if we play at a very high level brand of defense. No one is going to want this product if we're not playing well.
Well, again, the defensive backs are going to have to step it up, I think, this week, because they're going to have to play well so that that rush can get to Stafford and they can make some mistakes throwing the ball. So that's the breakdown there of the offense. I want to check the chat. There's a couple comments I want to touch on.
Okay.
And so let's hit up the couple comments and then we'll do the shout outs, maybe, because we're going to wrap it up tonight on MCF. Remember, guys, we're going Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The streams are going to be a little different, and they're going to be a little bit crazy sometimes. We're going to be in Dallas, and we're not going to have the same ability to do the streams like we usually do. So we've had to take maybe a day or two off, or on the move kind of live streams in the location we're going to be in Dallas, checking that out. So make sure you still stay with us, but it might be a little different with the news, the info, and the updates this week. Now, baby, hit up some of those comments. We'll shout out again the Lunatic, as I've been saying all night. Much love, but right now we got three new raffle entries, all by Amazing Games.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, of course.
Yeah, much love to Amazing Games, who's now, when I say raffle entries, what am I saying? I'm saying the Lunatic's raffles. We're closing it down. Last chance to drop it in for tonight. Double jersey raffle means we have 2 winners, each of them getting 1 fantastic sewn and stitched jersey of their choice. Again, not our choice, your choice of what we have available. Different style sizes. Every player's from now and old. A lot of different choices to pick from. And really also you can do any team if you really wanted to. Any sport if you really wanted to. Cowboy Mosh got it. And how to get in? $10 per entry. If you drop more than 10, you drop 20 total for the week, you get another entry. You drop 30, you get another. You guys see how it stacks? And then that's the unlimited entry portion of things. If you're in the membership in any shape, form, or fashion when we do the raffle, you get a bonus entry as well. So, hey, you up your chances to win one of the 2 jerseys we're raffling off here. Coming soon. I don't want to announce the date yet because we're going to be out of town. So, coming soon right here, MyCowboysFamily. So, get in there, get your raffle entries, stack them if you want, and up your chances to win one of the 2 jerseys from the Lunatic. Making it happen here, MyCowboysFamily. So, again, I wanted to shout that out. And now I wanted to shout out not just the people, but I want to hit some comments first. Specifically, actually, Amazing Games, since he was our big dropper of the night. Let me just say something about Amazing Games and his comment, which said, Zach Ertz would fix all the headaches. Help Ferguson and Schoonmaker. I don't agree. Amazing Games. We talked about it a little earlier, I think before you were on here, but Zach Ertz is now on the injured reserve for the Cardinals. He's having a very poor season, and he's definitely a shell of what he was with the Eagles. And he's also, again, injury prone now. Not worth a trade. Do not want him here. I'd rather work with Schoonmaker than try to pull Ertz onto the team. I'd rather go with Jalen Johnson, a cornerback from the Bears. If you want to make a trade, that's going to be good for now and the future. That's the move. You might have to give a 3rd or a 4th. You do it to get a starter here immediately, and you lose the pick, but you got the starter. A guy who's kind of proven it as a young guy, 24 years old. That's what I look to trade for, not the Zach Ertz name. That's old now. It's no good. Trust me on this. I just want to make sure Amazing Games is he is multiple membership raffles. There are multiple raffles in our multiple entries in our raffle. But again, I wanted to address that. I saw his comment a couple times in the chat about Ertz. He would not help us. Definitely not help us now or in the future. We got to stick it out with Ferguson and others. Schoonmaker and on and on.
So let me go ahead
That's one of the comments, yeah.
Hit up the chat here a little bit here. Seabass said, they're not LA Rams. They suck so bad they should have stayed in St. Louis. They're now the LA Rims. Yeah. Everybody in LA got big-ass rims, so you get it.
I like to call them also the LA Lames. Yeah.
Dylan saying, also pass on Ertz. Roll with Ferguson and Schoon and push them to get better.
I agree. That's the I'm sorry. That's the key to me. You run with Ferguson. You keep getting the ball in his hands. You barely even tried really recently. So to me, you got to keep pushing to get these guys. It's not that they're not doing well. It's that they're not getting opportunities because the game plan seems to be hitting other players maybe in slants and other situations. I don't know. It's just not the tight ends haven't been targeted, and even Jerry Jones complained about that a couple of weeks ago. Right?
Lord Nova 85, what's up? Much love. So rolling back a little bit more. Thomas Garrett saying the secondary will have to contain the middle of the field because that's Machua's strength.
Nakua?
Oh, sorry. I'm guessing you meant Nakua. Sorry, you said Machua.
Yeah, Nakua is the thing is they don't really do a lot of the. They're not going to do a lot of the. They're going to do not as many of the drag routes, post routes down the field. Although that's the middle of the field. If they do a little shorter route like that, they can hurt us there in the middle of the field. That means he cannot have time. He cannot have time. But remember, they don't really going to have the longer routes that go deep. They're going to get that ball out as fast as possible because they know the pass rush is coming, and they've been doing that a little bit more often. They run the most 11 personnel in the NFL. That means they have 3 receivers most of the time on the field. So we have to be ready to use our coverage guys more than maybe normal for this game coming up here against the Rams. We'll look at some more of the matchup specific, throughout the time we're in Dallas, and I'll be bringing some of my thoughts up. It'll be a lot more to the point when you see our streams in Dallas, because we're going to have to probably make them a lot shorter, a lot less kind of news and info, more discussions, and just major points we're going to touch on over our streams in Dallas when we're there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is going to be live in full. Saturday and Sunday going to be a lot of walk-around live streams with us. We'll hit your comments up and tally your numbers and all that good stuff when it comes to the memberships. Not memberships, but the raffle. So, of course, that all still continues. But we'll be doing a little different stuff there when we're walking around Big D.
So, with that, of course, let me see here. The Lunatic throwing out there, the Rams don't look to establish the run. But if we make them one-dimensional by stopping the run, our D-line will get home.
Yeah, the run game is used to kind of just keep drives kind of balanced a little, maybe a little balanced. But, yeah, they just go pass. They really love the pass, but they do not abandon the run. Now, if you make them, like the Lunatic just said, if you make them be hesitant on the run, or maybe say, it's not really working, and you get them caught up in their pass, that's where the one-dimensional comes in. We got to be careful. Again, 11 personnel, if they do some play action, that stuff can hurt us against a team like the Rams. They love play action and then going for those 20-plus yard plays or deeper. The Rams do that a lot. They will try it again. So that's why the Cowboys have to be ready for that. So, I'm looking forward to see how the Cowboys react to stopping the run, and then hopefully the Rams get away from it, because if they keep running, again, they will be able to be a lot easier to move the ball down the field on our defense, for sure. With play action and other things, on top of running the ball and successfully, that will put us in a bad situation. We can't let that happen. We're going to be there. MCF will be there, hopefully, stopping that from happening.
So, let me see. Gonna hit up the final kind of comments here as we start to wrap things up. Of course, take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in Discord, links down below. Let me see. Amazing Game said Tolbert needs playing time. Absolutely. Especially because he's been looking better. So it's a little bit confusing as to why we haven't even seen him more.
I think
Since
that
he's playing more consistently, at least from what we can tell.
Yeah, I mean, he is. But again, I'm always going to bring up the money thing with Jerry Jones. And, CeeDee Lamb and Cooks are going to be starting. But, of course, Gallup is the guy you have to switch out. Yeah, you get some Tolbert here and there, but you're not getting a lot of Tolbert because Michael Gallup's getting a lot more money. And trust me, Jerry Jones will see Gallup on that field.
So
that's why we're not seeing enough Tolbert.
Dylan Tick saying, we're coming off our bye. I need to see more outside runs. Attack the deep middle of the field with Cooks and 88. And if Gallup doesn't improve, let's see Tolbert.
Well, I agree with everything he just said there, and that's what we got to see, going into this game, finishing this game against the Rams. But we'll talk about the offensive the stuff we need to do on offense tomorrow at our Texas coast. We'll talk about that in detail tomorrow night here, Mike, versus this specific defense.
So let me see. Bass, take it easy, of course. Amazing Games, much love. The Lunatic. Let me see. Lord Nova 85.
By the way, Amazing Games is leading the whole board right now. He's in first place on the overall board, coming for that sponsor of the week, and of course, top raffle entries right now. Amazing Games.
Oh, so Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, saying the secondary will have to contain the middle of the field, and that's an equal strength. I think I had read that comment already. No, just making sure. I want to give everybody their proper shout-outs here, especially if they're dropping the love, the knowledge here in the chat. House Nelson in the house. MH, what's up, saying Rams don't need tight ends with all their receivers.
Well, again, you're right about that. They do have pretty damn good receivers, but when they want to get... I will say this. McVay is sneaky with the way he kind of game plans and schemes. So he will use everybody. He'll use his guys the way they're most effective in it. The receivers they do utilize them very very well. So you're right about that. So I mean, our coverage guys got to be extra ready to defend these receiver types, not the tight end types as much.
So let me keep rolling here with some of the shout outs. MH. Pioneer, have a great night. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, of course. Asmodeus, much love to you.
I hope we answered Seabass's comment about he agreed with somebody else about he agreed with Amazing Games about Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that back to the mix there for him. And I'm just looking through the chat as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
So
Seabass for the shot. Amazing games.
Yeah, I mean, trying to go back here. Choctaw Montana 808. Have a great night.
Much love, Montana. Orlando Rodriguez.
Eric Black, take it easy.
Eric.
No, just trying to roll back. MH, representing, of course. James Hurd, thanks for stopping by. Burn Bar, you already know. Cue Ball in the house as well. Yeah, that's actually as far back as I can go. Let me come back down. Yeah, I think we shouted out everybody.
I know that, again, Amazing Games has, dropped the love tonight here. Jason Renfro dropped the love. Much love to everybody in the house here. With your comments, your thoughts, Amazing Games. I see him in here. He says, take care, have a good night. Yes, appreciate you. West Coast love. The Lunatic in the house, of course. The raffle, love. Much love to the Lunatic there. Choctaw Montana, MH. Seabass, Matt Persico. Burn Bar. Truly, cannot do this thing without you guys, your love and support. And baby, can't do this without you. As we get ready to get out of here, sponsor of the week, the top man, the Cash App King, Snug X. You know why he's here. Jason Renfro got the other boards. Gifting champion, 26 points, still representing on the Stream Boss. As far as the leaders, Jason Renfro is leading the Cash App. Skeptical Fan is leading the gifting board. And the overall board is being led by Amazing Games. Much love to him. Appreciate everybody here with us. And baby, tell everybody why we do this here on the nightly of My Cowboys Family.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Let's get that win and let's look good out there doing it this weekend with the family in place. Let's do all that and rep that star over everything. Never forget here, My Cowboys Family on YouTube for 6+ years and beyond. Number one thing here now and forever. As always, Go Cowboys. Let's get that. We got 5. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge all night long in the chat. Appreciate you guys' love and support. The drops of love from above through all the different ways. Truly appreciate the Lunatic adding to the fun here and giving back, helping us give back to the family with 2 jerseys being raffled here. Can't do this without you guys. Team effort here on MCF. Now, baby, as we clock out, drop out for the evening, for the morning, and relock and reload. Our tomorrow will be our last at-home show, I guess you can say. After that, Thursday, it's all on the road, baby. MCF on the road. So, can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little different. I hope you guys can, stick around and hang out for the streams. We're going to do a little different. We're still going to track everything the way we do here. This will be open in the background. We might have to do them on our phones sometime, so we'll see. Guys, join us for the fun. Can't wait. Tomorrow's our last regular stream like this, and then we'll be taking it on the road to Big D for the big game against the Rams. So before we can drop out and clock out for the night, baby, and relock and reload, what we got to do? Not just tomorrow before we get rolling for our defense, our offense versus this Rams defense, but officially before we can drop out of here for the night, baby, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beat's been dropped. Thank you all for dropping in here with us and repping that star over everything. Hell yeah. Got 5. We want 6 and beyond. And again, go Cowboys. You know the deal. Here on MCF, Cowboys chat in the books. We talked about Dak's stats. Talked about Micah Parsons' thoughts about a lot of different things like Taylor Swift, but mainly how he's going to be going at and sacking, pressuring, disrupting the Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford-led quarterbacking offense there. We'll see what happens because they got some good receivers. They got a great coach. They got a weird logo, as Jerry Jones is pointing out there. And Dan Quinn, Micah Parsons got a plan to try to go 5-2 and take this streak to the next level. 90s style. You know what I mean? Here in MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too. That's star over everything. Never, ever, ever, ever forget the number one thing right here of My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters. We'll see you all guys. All you guys will see you back tomorrow for another one. We'll see some of you guys in Big D in Dallas for the big game. Again, hit the like. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you for subbing it up, subscribing to the channel. See, notification bell so you know when we're going live. Hey, we'll be going live tomorrow for another one. Have a good night, guys. Stay safe, peace, and never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!